Is Declan Rice worth 150 million? Well, West Ham seems to think so after putting a price tag on the English midfielder for 150 million. Now, what does this mean? Well, it looks like West Ham wants to scare off people who want to come and buy Declan Rice. They seem to think that Declan Rice should stay and will stay, so they put this price tag in order to scare off, the top 6 teams that want to go out there and buy a midfielder who's English named Declan Rice. Now, this is kind of crazy, but if you really think about it, it is smart because they're not really out of their minds. Now, Declan Rice, you think, well, he's English, price tag's going to be a little bit higher than he actually should be, because in reality, Declan Rice is really a 50-60 million pound player in my opinion, because he is a midfielder who is a holding mid who can play it right and all this. And him and Thomas Partey aren't that far apart, and Thomas Partey was paid for 40 million, and then Rodrigo, who was in 150 million. Like, all these guys, they're in the same level or even better than Declan Rice. Now, if anyone is foolish enough to buy Declan Rice for 150 million, Jesus Christ, you suck. That's it, you suck. 150 million, wow. But I don't think West Ham is coming out here and expecting to get 150 million if they were to sell Declan Rice. I think this is to get more money than they would have if they would have said 100 million for Declan Rice and he's yours. No, they want a counter offer that's a lot higher than what they would expect. So right now, if Man United, a team that I think it would be favored to go out and buy Declan Rice, they'll be like, well, what do you want? Well, we price him at 150 million. Well, give us your best offer, 130. Boom. Be like, we'll take it. So with this being said, I think that's a very smart tactic to overprice Declan Rice. Now, we've seen many players that are English get overpriced and overpaid for, from the likes of Harry Maguire and Jack Grealish. The 2 examples I'm going to use is Harry Maguire, because he was bought for 80 million and did not work out at all. Now, you got Jack Grealish, who hasn't adapted quite well at Man City yet, but this is his first year and he could still make up for the 100 million price tag that was put on him. And he could still flourish and all this, but he has to adapt, and we'll see how he does in the near future. But 100 million for Jack Grealish for right now seems bizarre to even buy him for that much. But we'll see how it works out in the future. Now, if these 2 guys were that much, Declan Rice definitely could be around the same, between 80 to 100 million. That's where, since he's English, the price should probably be, but they put it at 150 million. Now, Declan Rice, could I see him being transferred out to a different team this summer? Well, you would think Man United as a team, in my opinion, to be the favorites now, since Chelsea are going through a financially unstable time with, their owner being sanctioned and all that, and they're trying to sell the team. I think Declan Rice will not be going to Chelsea, and Chelsea will have sort of problems next year if they don't sell the club fast enough. But Declan Rice to United would be the only way I see him leaving, because I think Declan Rice going to United would be the only logical place to go, because they don't have a very solid midfield. They only have McTominay and Fred and Matic. I think Declan Rice walks in there, and the only team dumb enough to spend over 100 million on one midfielder would be Man United, where they could easily fix up their team with 150 million. But I think they would be the type of team to offer up 120 million, and then West Ham's like, all yours. Now, would that be smart on Man United's part? No, not at all. I think in this aspect, I think you could get 2 midfielders for 100 million and you have a new starting midfield that's class. But if you only go for one guy, you're just going to have the same problem over and over. But anyways, for Declan Rice, I think the move could make sense, but the thing is, West Ham is in Europa League, and if they win the Europa League, they go to the Champions League. And Man United right now is at risk and not getting top 4. And West Ham could even make a run for top 4 still at this moment. So I think right now West Ham has a bigger chance than Man United to get top 4. That doesn't mean that Man United has no chance that West Ham does. I think at the end of the day, if I had to predict the top 4, I think Man United will get it and West Ham possibly will not get it. But We'll see how it goes at the end of the day. But if West Ham were to get top four, I see absolutely no reason for Declan Rice to leave the team, because the team is going in the right direction and you would be leaving to a club that has been going to the wrong direction for a very, very long time. And it seems like it has been a graveyard for players and managers. So now, Declan Rice, I think 100% you should be staying at West Ham for the near future. Even though I do not expect him to stay for the rest of his career at West Ham, because the game has changed and we haven't seen as much loyal players to stay in one team for their whole career, like the Mark Nobles, the Steven Gerrards, the Wayne Rooney, not really, but we haven't seen loyalty. We haven't seen loyalty, and I think he'll eventually leave. It's the name of the game now. Nobody stays in their team forever. Many teams, they transfer out players. Players request to leave. It's very common nowadays that, people are getting transferred all the time. So Declan Rice eventually will leave West Ham, and I think Man United is the clear favorites to get him. Man City, Liverpool, they don't really need him. Chelsea have their financial problems, and Arsenal and Tottenham, I don't see them spending 100 million on a player like Declan Rice. Anyways, now, what does the transfer market mean if Declan Rice was to be sold for 150 million? Well, I think that would inflate the heck out of these prices. The Ward-Prowse, what if you were to leave? Ward-Prowse to me is a 40 million, 40 pound player right there. And Declan Rice and Ward-Prowse, they're not far off from each other at the end of the day. Now, Ward-Prowse, is he a 100 million pound player? No, he is not. But Declan Rice apparently is. And if Ward-Prowse and Southampton look at this, they're like, wow, I'm worth a lot more than I thought I was. And I think Ward-Prowse is a bit more skillfully better than Declan Rice. We've seen Declan Rice and Ward-Prowse go against each other. We've seen Southampton have the better end of West Ham. So how much better does Declan Rice make West Ham that Ward-Prowse doesn't do to Southampton? Because I've seen Ward-Prowse play astonishing games against City and West Ham and etc. Like Liverpool as well. Like, it's crazy. Chelsea, they've played outstanding games. But I just want to say right now, I think that it would be terrible for the transfer market if Declan Rice went out for 150 million. But anyways, leave a comment down below if you think Declan Rice is worth 150 million or not. And anyways, like and subscribe for more videos like this. And thank you guys for watching.